Hello everyone, it's Love here, and today's video will be absolutely special because you will see our road to Mythic. We will show you how we hit Mythic, how we hit it in 5 hours total gameplay, and you will see every step of the road. You will also see how we fought the second best player in the world right now, and the game was absolutely epic and really high quality. So this will be a voiceover because we actually try harder for this one, and you will see all the steps with the last moments of the games that went us through the diamond. So if you wanted to hit Mythic, this is the video for you, and I have told you that this will be easy Mythic, right? I promised you that you can hit Mythic with this one, and I thought, I'm in Diamond, I need to hit Mythic. I will use this one and prove that it was true, and that was the idea for today's video, and I really hope you guys will enjoy it. It took a lot of work, a lot of editing. I really hope you will enjoy it, and yeah, let's just go with it. There will be no deck intro. If you want to, you can watch the original video. This is about the Mythic gameplay and how to reach Mythic, and the proof that your trust in the channel was right. And be sure to check out the stats because, man, they were impressive. We won 71% of the games in Diamond against the best players in the world. And against Red, I kid you not, we won 90% of the games. We won 90% games against Red. Man, if you like the deck that doesn't lose to Red, it seems it's this one. So be sure to check out the stats, and let's go. And for this one we'll have around 1 minute of, the moments from the games we have played, like Diamond 3, Diamond 2, all those sticks, like those were some of the coolest situations, and you will see what made our opponent explode in every of those games. In a moment you will see like bigger games and the voiceover, so for a moment just enjoy the show, and yeah, we'll get there in a second.
First.
Alright guys, so this will be the voiceover part, and we'll talk through some of the games. This one will be the one that will hit Diamond Tier 2, so this is an important one. And as you can see, we are Emperor against Emperor. We have wedding announcements, so we have quite a lot of advantage, and we start the game enough so we have Kaya. So our opponent is a bit lackluster in the value. Here he has only 3 cards. Fateful Mending is good selection but doesn't give him card advantage, so I'm going for Kaya plus 2 cards because in the long game I don't think I can lose. I always had this issue because I either could crack the Invasion of Tolvada or just the Emperor. This turn we finally cracked both. They were lying there for like 10 turns because I was scared about Farewell, so I didn't flip Tolvada at this point. And I just hit Duress. I was really happy about it because, man, in Control versus Control, when you have Kaya in the board, if you hit Duress, you know exactly what happens. And as you can see, so that I believe that was the second Farewell. I forced the first one without flipping Tolvada, and he was really patient with his Farewells as well, so it was a hard game overall. So I believe I should Duress first to see what the situation is. I actually misplayed this one because I thought for some reason the cost for Sheoldred is 4 mana on top of the 5, so for 9 mana. And I was like, wait, what? It's 5? And yeah, I checked the graveyard, so that's enough cards, and that was an oopsie moment. So yeah, a bit funny. That's how I learned how much ticks Sheoldred ultimate costs. And now we went Duress, a bit backwards in all honesty, but that was enough. And he had some bombs. Jace is important in this situation. However, I've checked my deck. I decided I'm not at risk of milling because the game shouldn't go for much longer, and Memory de Rouge is his easy cardo. Yeah, he has the flashback, that's the problem, but flashback costs 7 mana. Look at his mana. He has like 1 or 2 spare mana after playing the Rouge. And if I can untap with all of this stuff, with Kaya and, Emperor, we can dish out so much damage that he doesn't have much time. and Memory Deluge is not very flexible. So he's trying to fix his hand. He had Fateful Mending, which means he discarded the cards that we know about. But at this point, I was feeling that, man, it seems like desperate. There's Sheoldred. Sheoldred will ultimate on the next turn. Even though I misplayed on the first turn, on the second one I will have 5 mana. They cannot answer it. They cannot answer Kaya. They're out of the game, and this is our first moment of glory. So we will have some, compilations and also games like this, which were the milestones. For this one, it was really sketchy. We tried to pressure him every single turn, and we started to make a dent in his defense. He was down to 4, and I was sure that he cannot protect himself for much longer. However, the play of the game was smart. We try and instantly go for the Throated, because then the spell fizzles, he gets no life gain, and suddenly he has 3 Samurais that will kill him on the next turn. And he had no defense against this one. Alright, and this one will be super cool one. So that was a mono blue. I was in a super rough spot because this is not a good matchup for us. And I knew I need to burst him. The Trespasser did huge work early game because we were supposed to clear his graveyard, so the Djinn is not scary. And now he went for a very desperate Fading Hope, right, with the discard. I was waiting for it, I went go for the Throat, I knew he will counter it, but he had only 1 mana. And the March on double exile was the play I actually hoped it will work, because he just was too tapped out. And not only he discarded for the Trespasser, it goes to my hand, but I cast it on the next turn. He lost the Djinn, he's down to 2 cards, it's looking good, but he's at 9 life. I need to burst him because generally this deck has more value than us, so we just need to try to kill them before they recover. So Emperor just trying to go super wide. I want to push him as much as possible because Fading Hopes are really limited resource for this deck. They have no way of killing your creatures otherwise. So I needed to play Trespasser. Unfortunately, he had make disappear. We still needed to play into it. Djinn is scary. That's the second one, right? And yeah, that's a problem. At this point I knew I have to go white and just kill him around the Djinn. And when I saw this card, it was like, oh my god, this is a big decision for the game. And with my heart set, I actually put her on down because this is really bad card for the matchup. 7 mana, do something that is non-creature, so it gets hit by negate is just not what we want. Tolarian Terror was even worse, man. Like, suddenly he has the board. He is at 6, but we cannot attack through 2 creatures a turn. So I decided to go white, burn Emperor, so this way we can play another Emperor in case he attacks, and we can get rid of one of the creatures at least. And we just need to wait until we have enough overwhelming advantage. And first for Discovery, man, it was harder and harder with every moment. Fortunately, we had 2 mana for Make Disappear, and the fact that he was forced to casualty on the Tolarian Terror is huge. So I scrapped the Emperor. That wasn't the most important play of the game. He's down to 6, so I'm showing that he's at 6. He has 1 blocker. It means that 6 damage goes through, so it means he's desperate to hit either a creature or a Fading Hope, but he already burned one. So yeah, at this point it was like, cheers bro, because this is the draw that will decide the game. And let's see if you hit it or not. So I thought that I have a high chance at winning at this point, but I wasn't fully sure about it. So I hesitantly attacked. I hope this will end the game. Unfortunately, as you will see in a second, our opponent has some trick up his sleeves. Unfortunately, he hit another Fading Hope for the last mana point, and it was like, oh my god, it's just on 2. And the Sunfall was the final answer because he's tapped out fully. He cannot counter it, and I did not activate it because even if he has the 3rd Fading Hope, like, we don't make it easier. So I used Sunset Reverie. I decided that I can just activate Phyrexian token on the next turn. I don't need to do it now, and I wanted to draw a card in case something goes wrong. And he knows that the game ends when I activate the token. No Fading Hopes, we advanced. Alright, this will be a very quick one because our opponent is playing some Easy to Wish Velvet shenanigans. He's going over the top. We hurt him with the tokens from Wedding Announcement. We have double arena, and when we finally attack for some free damage and then we Sunfall, he's out of this game. He has nothing. We have double arena, double Wedding Announcement, and more cards. Alright, and this one was incredibly intense. You will like this one, especially it features mono at our favorite deck. So I was under siege, he had Warfare, so I needed to trade my 3-drop Trespasser into Warfare, but I had double Sheoldred, so I knew I still have a chance. With Warfare it's much easier to burn Sheoldred. He's going super all-in because he is absolutely certain he can just burn me with the Warfare, even through Sheoldred. So I thought that I need to be aggressive because the game will be hard. He has double flyer, so even though he has Mishra's Foundry, it's fine. Duress got rid of his last spell. I was sure that he has some kind of, instant or sorcery. And the timer of Sheoldred started. They need to kill us. They don't know about the Go for the Throat and March. Like, I was considering splitting double removal, like Go for the Throat into March, but for this turn I believe I went for the Shivan Devastator with the exile of Sheoldred. At this point it was clear he's not trying to kill the Sheoldred, he's trying to kill me instead. So we needed to go for the maximum life gain, and that was 9 damage. So we went with the Crystal Grotto to see the card. I honestly wasn't sure if Farewell is worth it. I just thought, yeah, if the game goes through 2 turns, maybe. And I needed to keep attacking because 12 means that it's 6 damage a turn. So Sheoldred hits for 4 and the draw hits him for 2. So it means he is dead on the next turn, so he needs to kill us from 11. And he has adversary, however he has nothing in the graveyard, so he didn't go for the counter because Mishra's Foundry is more damage. You waste 1 damage on the counter and you get 3 extra damage because it's an artifact with Warfare. And that was supposed to be a lethal. But here we are with our nice, silly Go for the Throat. And I was like, cheers bro, you know what happens now. And this was another tick on our way to Mythic. Alright guys, and this will be the main dish, even though the Mythic hitting will be later in this video, but this is probably the highest quality game you will see in this whole video, and probably in this whole day. So we are playing against the second best player in the world. He's Stinger, not sure who he is, but he plays extremely well. So he opened with a Rot Priest, which already spells a very hard game for us, because of course this is their best 1-drop in the whole deck. And guess what? There's another. At this point I was like, oh man, how do highest Mythic players draw like this? It's insane. I already felt like I'm out of the game, to be honest. I thought that yeah, we will play it out, but with this opening we are probably too far behind. So I decided that one of the problems with the Rot Priest is low stats. So it's great at being targeted by removal, right? But it's not great attacking through a beefy blocker. So I went with Wedding Announcement and just decided to go for the stats on board so they cannot attack. And at some point, this deck doesn't have infinite targeting spells. They usually rely on creatures. So maybe we are lucky and they cannot hit enough to just poison us. So I went for maximum board with Sunset River. We are not drawing cards. Life gain does not matter in this match. We will die due to poison. So man, this was such an intense game. So I attacked with 2 of them. I wanted to fake that I want to draw a card and I'm throwing away 2 creatures because I expected him to block, and then I wanted to play the Emperor for a pump, so I killed the first Rot Priest for free without using even a Sunfall. Unfortunately, he has also Bring the Ending, a very good counterspell in this kind of deck, and we threw 2 creatures, but to be honest it was worth the risk, and we still have enough board to keep them in check, so it doesn't change much whether we have 6 or 2. So right now we are in some hard spot. We know we need to start to finish the game. I was fearing the counterspell, but I didn't have other good plays, so I just went with the Sunfall. I know he has 4 counterspells in the whole deck. He should not have 2 of them, but he did. Double Rot Priest, double Bring the Ending. Definitely really hard draw for us and very good for our opponent. Annex Center was a big blow, but still our creatures are enough to force them to not attack. And because he tapped for a sentry, we have Kaya, and that is our powerhouse for the game. She needs to get us back from the demise. So I actually checked text on all the cards to make sure that the play goes how I wanted. So the Rot Priest doesn't give toxic counters. Annex can target the Rot Priest, and we basically destroyed 2 creatures on our opponent's side, and we got 1 ourselves. The point is, this kind of deck that opponent is playing does not have a lot of removal in the whole deck, so it's very hard for them to remove Annex. Especially that, they already played one. So now we are going with Arena. At this point, I'm sure that life gain and life total does not matter, because we are losing to poison or winning by killing him. Those are 2 options. So right now I invested 1 poison counters because he tapped out fully for Mythic, so I know he had no way of protecting the Rot Priest, and when we remove both of them, suddenly their poison potential goes down the hill. And we have Arena, we are full top deck mode, but we have Kaya and the Arena, so a lot of value every single turn. Emperor is a decent draw. Land is not so amazing. So with Kaya at 5 loyalty, we have the luxury to -3 again. Unfortunately, he had Tamio safekeeping. Man, this guy just had all the answers. It was really hard to grind him. And yeah, we have only 1 play for this turn, so that was a bit lackluster, even with the Arena. So I just decided to keep attacking, keep my Kaya. I actually hesitated to attack with 1 of the ground tokens, but I decided, man, Kaya is how you win games, you just need to protect her. So we are playing Emperor. Unfortunately, as you will see in a second, man, like this guy knows how to draw answers. That's the 3rd Bring the Ending in top 16 cards. I did not play around it. I decided I am taking the risk and he shouldn't have it, but he still had it. So we are trying to pump the Kaya so we can -3 again on the next turn potentially. I wanted to pressure their life total because this, like, toxic is inevitable. They will kill you at some point with something, especially with Mythic. So you need to start thinking about closing the game. And at this point, I knew that he cannot punish us for anything. I have 1 card. I can maximum target the Mark just because he has 0 cards, so no Tamio safekeeping, no nothing. And when I make his board worse and I unlock Kaya for the next turn, it should be enough to start killing him. He got the Duelist. It's a good draw. It's not the best draw for him. It's a bit underwhelming at this stage of the game when we draw 3 cards a turn. But this is why we played like this. We played defensive because we outscaled this deck super hard later. And this will be the coolest play of the game. I actually went all in. And this play was tailored toward high Mythic player because I know they play very perfectly. And I knew that he will assume that a diamond like me will misplay and will give him win on 1 life. Because when you see this damage, it's 6. With Kaya, it's 9. It's not enough to kill him. And I hoped that he will let this damage through because he counterattacks and he wins the game. And I hope he won't play around us being smart with Wandering Emperor. And now we can finish with him with Kaya. And this was our win. I didn't want to GG him, but that was amazing game, well played by our opponent. It was a harsh tick, man. Alright, another mono-red. I mean, we need to make this 90% win rate somehow, right? So we are in a pretty good position. We survived every game, but this Raiju is insane. So we basically need to trade everything we built during the whole game just to trade 1 for 1. I actually was super happy he didn't buff the Swift Spear. Because I can kill Raiju, and basically the board is clear. He has no cards in the hand. Duras is absolutely abysmal, so we dump it at the bottom of the library. Because he needs to draw a spell, right? Instant Sorcerer from the top of his deck to buff it. Let's see if Mono-Red can do it. And also I have Wedding Announcement that already flipped. It also gives the tokens. So at first I was sure that he drew some kind of, burn spell. And I decided that I will block with 1 creature, so he doesn't get the benefit from burning. But in all honesty, he just targets it, and that's more or less the same, kinda. So, you know, he has one creature on the board compared to our Sheoldred, so I was a bit hesitant with Sheoldred before. I usually like to drop Sheoldred on empty hand on our opponent because there is not a single card that kills Sheoldred in their deck. They need at least 2 cards and they need to be both perfect cards and a lot of mana as well. So in this situation he cannot attack, and man, I was so happy I have those 2 basic swamps because that means that the Punisher doesn't punish. So I was a bit hesitant. I know I'm winning, like I heal 2 life a turn. The best he can draw is like 3 damage a turn, and he has 4 of those in the whole deck. So, you know, overall we are stabilizing every turn, and with Wedding Announcement we have way more power than he can, you know, benefit. He's drawing those burn spells like a boss, so he's closing to burning us. But we have Wedding Announcement with 2 more tokens, and they can trade versus Swift Spear alone. So, you know, we either can double block the Menace guy or just go 1 for 1. And in this situation he cannot really attack. That was extremely important turn for us. Now we can start being aggressive. I decided he's at 13 and we have 2 blockers and both are 3/3s. If he wants to attack, he deals 3 damage and he wastes the whole board basically. Even if he draws a spell, they will be 2/3, so they still trade into our tokens very nicely. I actually was considering Sunfall, because theoretically we can make a big token and kill him on the next turn, but I just prefer to have Sheoldred just in case. So, of course he drew the 3rd, I believe, the burn spell from the top. We still don't die to this. We are at 5, now we counter attack and we enjoy the moment because we definitely earned this one. And that was our Diamond 1 promo game. Nice. Alright, man, this one was extremely intense. So we were double anointed Peace Kept, and he named Sunfall and the Wedding Announcement because those were our answers. So he knew we cannot sweep the board, and look at the pumps, like everything is like 6/6 because of Halana and Alina. And not only this, Sigarda already is attacking thanks to the haste from Halana and Alina, so that was extremely intensive, man. So I knew I had to mitigate all of the damage because on the next turn I'm guaranteed to have a Farewell, which was basically the only card that wasn't named by him. So we cleared the board and suddenly we unleash our Sunfalls. However, I knew he has Halana and Alina. If he has a land into 2-drop, he can attack with me with haste on on his turn. And we are just at 6 life because of the arena, and we are getting drained every single turn. So this was extremely interesting gameplay. He played Adeline because this is one creature that creates a board. We played double Wedding Announcements, but they kinda die every turn to the Adeline and the token, right? So theoretically, if he keeps attacking every turn and if we are blocking every turn, he at some point burns us through the Wedding Announcements. Except maybe the last part when we get 2/2s, right? Thanks to the Anthem effect, or actually 3/3s. But for the first turns, we kinda are passive and we cannot target Adeline with March because of the plazas. We cannot Sunfall because then he can just unleash the next thing. He knows about the Sunfalls and he just wants to trade card for card instead of the usual like 2 or 3 for 1 thanks to the having Sweeper. Also the Sunfall tokens would be small. For a moment I forgot what Plaza is. I was considering March and then I thought, oh, Plaza. I shouldn't do it. So yeah, we took the hit. Actually made a very small misplay here. I wasn't sure what I will do during his turn, so I just took the 1 damage. I kinda didn't have to, but I usually enjoy playing at dance step, so I know he doesn't realize what the real situation is, right? If we remove something on his turn, he knows what's up. Now at dance step he cannot buff the board because like it's too late already, right? And now we are at 12. He knows he cannot burst us and he cannot contest the arena, so we win the value game. Alright, and what would our road to Mythic be if we didn't face a white human aggro, right? So we are in a very peculiar situation because our opponent opened with Initiate, and as you know, Initiate doesn't do anything unless they play a second creature and protect it. So we killed the Vanguard and this was our turn. The reason I went for Arena, not a Trespasser, is lands. I would miss a land drop probably if I didn't play Arena. I know because I had game like this before. So our opponent went with Adeline. That's really bad for us. That is a haste, a lot of creatures. So at this point I knew the way to win this game will be a Sunfall because we fall 2 behind on board already. Adeline was basically this 2-for-1 that we couldn't handle. So I went with the Trespasser with a tap land. The fact that we did not miss a land was huge, that's why I played Arena, and unfortunately the Initiate is already at 3-3. I hope my Trespasser can trade for free versus Initiate. So I decided to go for the block. This means that even if I don't hit everything perfectly, maybe I have a better chance somehow, but we are absolutely in the Sunfall plan. So we went with the Sunfall, we are at 6, so even though we stabilize, and our opponent is so greedy, like they want to burst us, they absolutely didn't build toward the future, they just want this last hit. They don't know our whole deck is built around Arena, so it means we never lack the live game, and they absolutely misjudged what our deck is capable of, probably because we are not playing a meta deck, so they have no idea what we have. And the point is that we do not die to Arena ourselves. As long as we have cards, we always get some live game. So right now he realized his mistake, now he builds for the board, but it's too late because he already wasted the turn when he could build. And yeah, right now I actually hoped him. Yeah, the problem is this token, right? 4-4 means they won't activate Mishra's Foundry, which kinda sabotaged my plan for Wandering Emperor -2. So right now we are in the aggression part, we know we have enough life gain with March and Trespassers, so we are trying to go aggressive because we have Emperor, we also have the Samurai with Vigilance. So, I mean, at best he can attack with 2 creatures that are probably 2 attack, right? And we have 2 samurais and an instant. So, in the end I went with the Trespasser just because it's super annoying, it gives us the life gain, and you know, it's a night time, so the creature is even better than usually. So, just a lot of value, just in case he can target one of the tokens, sneak some damage. I didn't want to allow anything, and the life gain from both graveyards, like, I mean, it's nearly good game. At this point I actually hovered around good game without clicking it for you guys, because at this point I knew I will win. He has not enough mana to make a meaningful plays, so even as you can see, he had perfect turn, 1 drop into 2 mana removal. Still not enough, even if he targeted Trespasser we still have enough blockers. And with Arena we have advantage every single turn. We have double his mana, we have bigger board, we have Planeswalkers, and we also have March, so at this point I knew he's fully tapped out, so I knew I can go for absolutely maximum and ensure that Arena will never kill me. And that was enough because that was his game plan, and indeed that was the last tick before we hit Mythic. And this is it, the final game. Man, I was so extremely stressed to just win this last game and, you know, have this Mythic done. And I was so scared to see Rot Priest as a turn 1 play because we did not have removal. Our first removal starts at 4 mana, so it started to be scary. Trespasser was a good draw, it enables us to put some board presence, so at least they cannot attack us for free. I was super scared this will be Bring the Ending. Fortunately it was just some kind of experimental algorithm which doesn't really contribute too much, doesn't give him card advantage. The proliferate hurts, but what can you do? At least we have Trespasser, so that Rot Priest cannot stack the poison easily, and usually they want to be defensive of the creatures, so they don't want to cast too many spells during their turn, which means that Trespasser is extremely helpful. So I wanted to attack not because of the damage, but I knew that he will never attack with the Rot Priest if we aren't tapped with the Trespasser, and I really wanted to hit the Emperor because I felt that one of the weaknesses for Rot Priest is the -1 token, because it trades perfectly and they cannot buff it at instant speed very often. So at least you force a card, in the best case you win the game. And that was it, and let's enjoy the moment. We did it. We hit Mythic with the deck I promised you that you can hit Mythic with. And I wanted to show you guys proof and that you see it in action, you see how it looks like. We are waiting for the server because I really wanted you to see the smooth transition to the profile pick. because for me it felt really good. Top 42, you've seen the road, you were part of it. Thank you for this, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Man, that was basically my whole weekend making this piece of content, so if you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, because that was a lot of work, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was worth watching, and thank you for being until the end. I honestly so wanted you to see this, so thanks, and I hope you are satisfied. Enjoy, guys, and see you in Mythic. Alright, guys, so those are the stats. Man, they are impressive. First, okay, first things first. 90% win rate against mono red. Like, how can you not be happy about it? I actually like mono red matchup right now. So we went in 45 games, 71% win rate. So yeah, those are the stats. Look at this win streak, man. Look at this win streak. Like, we barely lost any games. In 33, we lost only 8 with this deck. That's insane. I actually improved the win rate over the small sample. That's I didn't think we will go 70%. It should not happen. Man, 76%? It shouldn't happen. Absolutely. Alright, and those are the stats. So this is where we played with the deck. It shows we... Alright, because they are separate. Yeah? So here we are with the stats.